Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports. We are live and exclusive with the former WBC heavyweight champion of the world and current number one contender, mandatory for the WBC heavyweight championship of the world, Bermane, beware, Stiverne.
Yes, sir. Present.
We meet again.
Again and again.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Everything is great.
We have got a lot to talk about. You can thank.
Apparently.
Yeah, you can thank your thank the media for some of these questions I'm going to fire at you. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm going to ask the questions. Question number one. Remember last time we spoke, we talked about the contract between yourself and Deontay Wilder that had, in your side, you'd signed it. Now, according to reports, you only signed the contract to fight Deontay Wilder yesterday. Can you talk to me about this first and foremost?
Just a few details that was, it was nothing. I mean, they made it bigger than it was really. It was just a few things that was that needed to be, added or take off, and everything is resolved now. So it wasn't as big as people was trying to make it seem like.
There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, Stiverne didn't want the fight. Now he's got the opportunity. Stiverne's ducking out a fight. He don't want to fight Wilder."
No. It was a mixed up with the transition between Brazil and Wilder. So people must understand that when there's paperwork involved, you know they forget about the paperwork and the legal stuff that's going on. You can't just say you're gonna fight somebody. You can say that, but there's also the paperwork. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So if you were told something and you expect it to be on paper and it's not, or what I'm saying, these are things that that has to be taken care of. So it's not about the opportunity and all of that. It's just that we basically asked for a couple of correction. And that's what that was the it wasn't even the issue. It was just that we were still waiting to get the right paperwork. That's all it was.
Okay, fair enough. The next thing is they said in this report that Don King didn't know about the negotiations and that Prince went ahead and made these negotiations behind Don King's back. Can you clear that up for us?
Nah. False. It was that's not true.
So King and King, Prince and Lubin all are working together. There's no behind the back or Don King weren't happy with the agreement.
Nah, there's none of that. None of that. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that people made it, bigger than what it was, and it wasn't that. It was nothing like that.
Now the juicy part. Now we've heard not conflicting stories, but the last time I spoke to you about Joyce, we did an interview, and you made a comment. You made a comment about Joyce, and you said you wouldn't fast track him. That's what I asked you. You said I wouldn't fast track Joyce. Do you remember when you said that to me?
Right.
Now, since then, and I now spoke to Ali Bashir the next day, and he said that the sparring between yourself and Joyce was competitive. Now, since then, the story came out that you threw Joyce out the gym, and Joyce come back and said, well, you heard the interview that we did. He didn't mention the channel, but thank you, Joyce, anyway. But he mentioned that, according to this interview, that he was punching your dreadlocks all around the ring, and you were a walking punch bag.
Oh boy, was he?
Yes, according to you.
God, should I even give him the time of the day?
Yes, you should, because because if you don't, then people are going to say, "Oh, Stiverne's ducking again."
Ducking, you know, everybody that knows me don't. I mean, listen. Okay, let me tell you this. How it first happened, I didn't know. I just found out maybe because that came into my. I mean, when I heard him. You know me. I don't look at the social media, but I first it was saying that he was talking or whatever, so I ignored it. But then I find out that before he came into my camp, that he put out there that I was the one calling him to come spar with me, which I never called him to spar with me. And when I looked at the article, and it says, Joe Jerv is on his way to Las Vegas to spar with Stiverne. I never knew nothing about that. And that one day I came to the gym and he was there, and then they asked to spar or whatever. So I said, okay. I mean, I already got my sparring partner, so I don't have to spar him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and you know, so House, my trainer, said, just do like a 4 round with him and just warm up to spar with the others. So I said, okay, I'll spar. And the sparring was basically me not throwing punches. It was to me. I wouldn't call that sparring. Um, whatever he's saying, or that he was punching me, or he knocked me out, or knocked me down, or whatever. To me, I was just in the ring moving around, and we sparred maybe 3 days for a total of maybe 10 to 12 rounds, and I'll be I probably threw about maybe 50 to 75 punches those 3 sparring, because I knew what he was about. I knew what he was about, especially I found out who he was hanging out with. So that right there, it just like, oh, okay, I know what this is. So he wasn't coming to. At first he came. I mean, you want help, you fighting. Okay, I'll help you out. But the way that he was sparring, and you know, he was coming in there and trying to knock me out, which he couldn't. So I was just moving around with him. I didn't pay attention to all that madness and what he was trying to do or whatever. But then he wants to take that as in I was a punching bag or whatever. I didn't throw no punches because I didn't want to throw any punches because I did not want to entertain, and I was trying to figure him out. Why was he here or whatever? But the thing that really triggered me, and I find it very disrespectful from him, is we spar maybe the first week he was there. We spar for 3 days, and then he left that weekend, and and I think he went to California, and then I got about 15 texts and 15 DM on my Instagram. People was like, "What are you doing sparring with this guy?" I'm like, "He's just a guy that just came and sparred." They're like, "Why? Why are you doing this?" Like, I'm like, "Why not? Like, what's going on?" And then they send me a picture with him sparring with Brazil. in California. So, and at the time, the fight with Wilder wasn't announced, and the thing with Ortiz was not out yet. So my opponent was Brazil. So I'm like, okay, you come to spar with me, and then you go to California to spar my opponent. I felt like it was tacky. I felt like it was childish, and it was very disrespectful.
Dang.
So I said, so when I didn't say nothing. I just said I don't want him in the gym, basically, because when he left, before he left for California that Friday, he was supposed to come back that Monday, and we were supposed to do some more rounds. So I said, you know what? I don't have to do. I didn't call this man. This man show up to spar with me. You see what I'm saying? So I felt like it was, childish or disrespectful for him to pull that stunt, to spar me, and then go to California and spar with Brazil, like it's a game or something. So obviously I don't know what he was thinking, or or was he thinking at all. But I just came back and told him I didn't want him in the gym, and then that's when they told me, well, he's leaving in a few days. I said, okay, I'm not gonna run to him and tell him, this and that. So I just told the owner that I didn't want. I didn't say I didn't want him in the gym. I correct that. I said I wanted to come out at a different time that he comes.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not my gym. I didn't kick anybody out. All I said was I just want to know when he leaves, or I want to come at a different time. Because now, right now, you sparring me, and you go to California and sparring my opponent. So I mean, I never heard anything like that. I've worked with several top heavyweights, champions, and I never in my life I would spar them and go and spar their opponent. This is ridiculous.
Wow.
So that was the whole my issue at the end. And then after that, he decided to go and talking about how I was basically he beat me up and stuff like that.